So now I validated the PR from Steve, and now Steve need to push a new version, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I think as far as I know, we're ready to do that.
Yeah, okay, possible.
And I'm just
I was absent during
that in the notes.
Yeah.
I see Dave.
Hello, Dave.
SharePoint list.
Hey guys, doing an audio test again if you can hear me.
Yep.
Okay. Great.
I get that right. I think I did. Cool. So I'm just busily typing in the MEDEC in the headstock. Sorry. So I see we have all signed in, and this would be a good time for us to do the. This would be a good time for us to do. Just remind each other about the note well that this being an IETF activity, so we have obligations as contributors, and have people had a chance to look at May interim meeting minutes?
Yes, and they are fine for me.
Yeah, fine for me.
Yes, thank you. Cool. Excellent. We are reminding ourselves that we do not have a meeting in July. Our next meeting is in August, and by the end of that time, we will have had IETF 123 in Madrid. Is there any, I should ask, because we have the IETF meeting coming up, is there anything we need to chase down with people face-to-face in Madrid?
No.
Yeah, I'm not aware of anything either.
The only thing that I can think of is if we respond to the AD evaluation on CELLAR tags, and if we have questions at that point, so we can chase down in person at that point. Robert, are you remembering if is that still? God, what is the name of the area we're in? Not WITS, the other one.
We're art nowadays.
We're still art, okay. Do the art ADs have office hours usually?
I believe they do.
Okay, so we have an opportunity to grab a hold of them. So that's good. So we did get a nice long AD evaluation from our area director, and I'm still looking my way through it, but it seems reasonable and actionable, which is a good thing. Is there anything we need to talk about on this call that came back from the evaluation?
I haven't seen it. Is this the evaluation on the tags document?
Yeah, he's talking about tags.
On tags, yeah.
It's on the mailing list on the 20th of June. There's a message from Maury.
Yeah. That is the way that we would expect those evaluation documents to come in.
Okay, I think what I'll do with this is I'll take those comments and I'll move them into the issue tracker so we can keep track of them.
Sure.
I'm just skimming it, but everything in here looks pretty easy to resolve.
Okay. Robert, are you aware of other business we have?
About FFV1 V4, we are finishing the work on the GPU acceleration with FFV1 V3, and yeah, we are getting experience about what we need to change in FFV1 for having more speed with GPUs. So with the experience we are getting from FFV1 in the GPU, we hope to have new things in FFV1 V4. So, but for the moment, we are still improving the speed with FFV1 version 3. And yeah, we are working on FFmpeg, so for the reference decoder, for finding a good path for having speed improvement, because the main issue remains the speed for the moment. So either based on the FFV1 V3, or we try to find new things in FFV1 V4.
Mm-hmm.
So this is still in progress. So it is not super visible, but there is still some work internally about how we can improve the FFV1 FFV1 codec. Sorry, the FFV1 speed.
Cool.
What's your best guess on when we would actually start to process text here? Is that sometime in the fall, sometime next spring? What's the speed that you think it'll hit us?
Sorry, can you repeat?
I'm just wondering when you think that activity will be far along enough along
Yeah,
we would be working on text. Is that sometime this fall? Is it next spring? What's your best guess?
it is still it is volunteering, so not easy to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, this year. But yeah, it is difficult to say when, as it is volunteering.
Yeah, but you think it's more likely this year than next year?
Yeah, we
So,
also no,
okay.
this year. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Guys, I don't happen to have the meeting agenda document in front of me, but I had two different issues I wanted to bring up in the call, so I can do that whenever I did.
I'm putting a link to the agenda in the chat so you can get there quickly, but go ahead and let us know what you wanted to bring up.
Sure, hopefully these are quick. The first one is this GitHub repository. There's been almost no activity in here since the beginning of the CELLAR day, but there was a developer who was commenting in the pull request section just on one of the example files that was in there. But based on this, I wanted to go in here and file some issues to add some updated sample files to reflect the latest status of our work. But then I realized the issue tracker was shut down. So whoever has admin permissions into this issue tracker, I wanted to see if you could open up the issue tracker.
For the repo called Matroska test files.
Yeah.
So
I can do a pull request, but for some reason the issue tracker is shut off. Jerome, do you see the same thing? Because I imagine you might have permission in here.
yeah, I should. But I don't know what the history is. I have no idea why we don't have an issue tracker here. I guess maybe they were. Was there at some? Do you remember if there was some point where there was pressure to push all of the issues into the main Matroska repo?
No, I mean the last time I remember this repository being discussed in the group was when we were moving the administration of it from the Matroska organizational account to the IETF CELLAR working group account.
Right.
And then then I don't think any of us really used it, but as our work's getting here complete, I wanted to update some of the files and just track some issues for adding samples in here. But
yeah. Well, I'll go open. Would you please send an email to the list noting that you asked that the issues section of that repository be opened? So if there is some reason that somebody didn't want it to be available, they can come and argue. If any issues get filed, we can transfer them. But in the meantime, I'll go ahead and do the work to.
Yeah, I'm sure you're not waiting for the moment when a certain key person's not in the meeting to
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
okay.
So just so I understand, so we've got issues there, but they're not in any repository that we're tracking currently?
No, the repo doesn't allow you to enter issues at the moment, or it didn't as of microseconds ago. So it should now.
And that's the Matroska one?
No, Matroska test files.
Okay.
Look in the chat.
Yeah, it is there. The issue tab is now there. So
thank you.
Cool.
I'll still send this email.
Yes, please.
Okay, the other thing I wanted to bring up, I don't necessarily have a lot of discussion about this, but I wanted folks in this group to be aware of it. So this link I just sent into the chat is to a book that was just published by the University of Illinois Press. I just wanted to bring this up because this book deals a lot about this particular working group in particular. So some of the people involved in here were, the authors weren't ever members of the working group, but they were certainly like very curious observers. And seems like one of the lead researchers that contributed to this book, Ashley Bluer, was a big part of the working group in like the first few years of it. So I just wanted to bring up this book because, I don't know, if you go into the, I think you can look at like a preview of it and you can see that like CELLAR comes up quite a bit. But it's sort of about some of, I don't know, it kind of makes it political in a way, but it talks about the development of standards comparing Matroska and MXF specifically.
Thanks for the highlight.
Sure. I didn't know if too many IETF working groups really make it into works of literature, but this is one.
Awesome.
And then, Jerome, just as an aside, now that the issue tracker is open, I'll probably go in and finish up writing some of the samples for the block addition mappings that we have in the Codec document. Like,
Yeah.
so that was the main catalyst. There was a developer from a media organization that was looking specifically for samples that reflected our latest work in defining, what do you call it, like side data and how information is attached to frame or data packets. Specifically like dealing time code and HDR, I think the main two that are used in Matroska currently. I think that covers everything I wanted to bring up. So thanks for letting me toss those two in there.
Yeah. Thank you.
So I just checked, and Robert, I think I'm the one that set up the weekly activity summary for CELLAR. So we are, that if anything ever got created there, it would pop out in our weekly, reports.
All right. Is there anything else that we need to cover today?
Nothing else.
Well, it's always good to have Steve here, but I'm glad we were able to push the ball along when he wasn't able to be here too. So
yeah, thank you both very much.
But thank you to keep doing this work.
Yeah, thank you.
Excellent.
Okay.
So is there
if we
anything?
don't have anything else, I think we can close.
Yeah.
All right, very good. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, gentlemen,
Great
and
summer.
enjoy your summer. We'll see you in August.
All right, very nice. Thanks.
Bye-bye.